rolling to Tripoint here. It's Sunday morning. We lost an hour of sleep with the time change. We've got George, Steven, Ryan, Richard, and me.
It is the rule of law today. That's going to be $50 to the winner, and Lack to Go has shown up with some good stuff.
It's official. No controversy this week. We got it on camera before, right?
Jeff
Lap
didn't.
cards? Yeah, that was all. Go ahead. Carry on. I didn't mean to make you camera shy.
So we're gonna start right on the money and
45 plus 2.
45 plus 2. But if it's 44 minutes and 49 seconds, but we're gonna go on the lap cards.
Lap cards prevail.
Lap cards prevail.
Sweet.
So this is Sunday, March 14th. Lining up here. 2 weeks ago, there was some confusion on how the race ended.
10 Mississippi.
So Jeff made sure to clarify what the protocol was. We had Matthew's dad Max was there with lap cards, so there wouldn't be any confusion this time around. And we're off to the races here. Pretty good turnout. It was cold this morning. Felt like an hour earlier, I think, because of the time change. So we jump ahead a little bit here. It's maybe 3 or 4 laps in. I threw out a few attacks just to kind of see who came to play and how the field would respond. Had a lot of Bella Kings here. There's George in front of me, Steven on the gray bike there. The plan was to try to get Richard in the break and then work for him to sprint if we took anyone with us. I think I'd pulled off after an attack here. Had a lot of activity. Greg Valeria went for a flyer, took a guy with him, and they got away for a little while and kind of brought him back. And just kind of coming through here. What is this, turn 4 to the start finish? But yeah, the time change, it's definitely a cooler morning than 10 a.m. when it feels like 9 a.m. But once we got rolling, it wasn't too bad. There's a little, it says a kind of a left to right wind on the front straightaway here. And kind of waiting for the next attack to happen. There's Richard looking back, wanting to know what we're doing. Got Shaun Bagley came to play. Okay, go for a little flyer here. Have a rear camera on, but I think it was just enough to force some guys to move to try to cover it. I think I shut it down. This wasn't the one we wanted, but this is, I think, in anticipation of trying to launch Steven and Richard up the road here in a minute or two. So maybe halfway into the race at this point. So I'm kind of waiting for people to come around me here. I think we got, actually Greg and another guy are still up the road, but it was probably too early, and I think we were slowly bringing them back anyway. But I'm going to see, I think, if we can maybe hop across to them without dragging the field up with us. This is a every other Sunday affair. Some construction going on, but fortunately, still a nice course. Really no cars. There's one security guard car. There's the attack. It's like Steven takes Richard, and Matthew, Team Swift, goes with him along with Shaun Bagley, and kind of just try to let it open up. They were going pretty hard, so they peeled open a pretty good gap here. Now I'm just kind of following the wheels. There's Chris Courtney, the white gloves, comes through, but really is just sitting up. not try to chase down our own guys. But, he was pretty active. He made a couple of attacks earlier on, just kind of stretching the legs a little bit. So I think I've started my kind of bridge attempt, and I think I have Ryan, Matthew's teammate, on my wheel. We come across, that was Greg Valeria we passed. And I've got separation from the field, but I think Matthew is still on my wheel, so I just sprinted just a little bit harder before I tried to kind of TT up, just to, I didn't want to bring a teammate, make it a six-man break with two Team Swift guys. Sorry about the hands here. I think I have until April 1st before the UCI does whatever they're going to do with this, but I had to put in a pretty solid effort here. I think Steven was still pulling, and I think I had gone 3 or 4 times already, so I was glad to bridge across here. It wasn't a long bridge, so I wanted to get as quick across as I could, just to minimize the pain. There's Steven taps and kind of get on his wheel, and we just start, I think, rotating pretty well here. Now we're a little further into the race. There's 5 of us away. Got Richard Gable, Stephen Pimentel, my teammates, myself, Matthew Amira with Team Swift, and Shaun Bagley. So there's 5 guys. Shaun's a really strong sprinter, and Matthew has a really good sprint too, and also is kind of notorious for maybe not taking the longest pull, so he was probably going to be fresh, and at some point decide to play some games and try to make Matthew and Shaun chase a little bit. So the plan was to let Shaun finish his pull, and then Steven would attack and try to take Richard with him and see if he could shake these 2 guys. I would just sit on wheels and just improve the odds exponentially if you get 2 teammates up the roads. Then we don't have to worry about the sprinter effect of Shaun or Matthew. So Shaun was stoked, I think, to make the breakaway. And he was definitely contributing, but I was passing the word to Richard right there. So Matthew kind of pulls off. Matthew, if you're listening, I'm not timing your pulls, are maybe a little short. So this is kind of coming into a little headwind section here. Shaun takes his pull, and I think he knows pretty quickly when he elbow flicks, and I slowly come through. And there they go. Shaun got a little humor out of that.
Too fresh.
So the games have begun now. We're not going to just rotate nicely until the finish, but just kind of yell him to shut it down. I think then I counter right here, just to do a little 1-2 punch. And Shaun wasn't able to counter this. Matthew stuck to my wheel and come around here. I'm pulling, and I look back and I just have Matthew on my wheel. We have a pretty big gap, but the game plan was to try to set Richard up to sprint for the win. So I didn't want to get away with Matthew and then drag Matthew to the finish line and have him out sprint me, which he can do fresh for sure. And I would definitely be doing some work, and so I just kind of sit up here and just let it all come back together. We had, I don't know, maybe 100 yards. We're coming in on maybe 2 to go here. I didn't see the lap card that time, but that didn't work. I think I asked him if they wanted a counter, but we kind of needed to recover here, so I'm just kind of soft pedaling. We have a pretty big gap on. We're not worried about getting caught by the field, so it's now just.
I think his lap cards are fucked up. We still have 5 more minutes, and he's already got 2 out.
Yeah, we had lap cards. The lap cards prevailed, but I was looking at my.
I think he was thinking the end was 45. Like he forgot the +2.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 45 minutes plus 2 laps, but I was okay with just going 45 minutes. So it cut the race short, probably 10 minutes, which was fine. So I think this is 2 to go, and I don't know if we attack one more time or couldn't remember. Let's see what happens here. So I got about a lap and a half to go here, and this kind of goes from a left to right to a kind of a tailwind to a crosswind here, but. Everyone's riding really strong. Steven is super fit right now. I think he just dropped a 382 watt 20-minute power test last week or something, so he's definitely doing well. Richard claims he's never in race fitness, but he was doing really well here too. We did a race ride yesterday, and he took the sprint in that, so he's doing all right. He never claims to be race fit, but I think I would beg to differ. I think he's there. Matthew rode with us yesterday too. I don't think he was able to get on the sprint train. Nick from Ride Bikes did the lead out for Richard. I went long and kind of strung it out. World champ finish on Old Friant Road yesterday, so that was fun. It was nice weather yesterday. It was a lot colder today. It's kind of a little rude awakening for how cold it was, but once you get in the race, it's fine. I dumped my vest at the start finish, I think 2 or 3 laps in, and just arm warmers and gloves, but it'll be nice when it warms up more. Kind of shuffled the deck a little bit. I think Shaun's on my wheel now, and Richard's pulling, so they've got us separated, at least in rotation right now. I was hoping Richard would take shorter pulls. I'm yelling to pull off, trying to save his legs for the sprint, but he was feeling so good. He fell into the trap of told him not to take any more pulls, but apparently Shaun told him, "Hey man, you're riding really strong, you're taking strong pulls." I'm like, yeah, you know what that means. He wants you to pull more. It's psychological warfare. There Matthew kind of flicked me through, and I just sat there. Shaun came around me, so I kind of got to skip the pull here, which is all right. There's Steven in front of me. So I think we're going to see 1 to go and bell lap here. Final countdown. So I'm kind of echelon right because again the wind was kind of coming left to right on this front stretch here. Steven was going to, I think, take it all the way to the last turn was the game plan, knowing that these guys weren't gonna bum rush him, so he didn't have to pull super hard. But here we are, 1 to go. Guess I'd take 1 more pull here. I think we do 1 more full rotation on the last lap before we get in position. We'll see. When Steven took his final pull, he held 30 and then ramped up probably 32 at the end. There's Matthew.
Take it as far as you can, and then me, then Richard left.
The game plan was to set up Richard. This was going to be the final rotation. When Shaun pulled off, they're going to have Steven take me, I think, to the stoplight. Let's see here. Steven's strong. He was riding really strong. Ramped it up here. Nice little three-man train, and I think Shaun and then Matthew was probably just surfing Shaun's wheel. They're just trying to figure out what our game plan was, I guess. We'll see. So hopefully the game was to keep Richard fresh enough here, and I was going to try to take him all the way to the line so he could just come around me. And Bagley's a strong sprinter though, so I knew it was going to be no easy task. This is just the last half of the last lap now. I think that porta potty was kind of like the halfway point, maybe a little more. Kind of a right to left wind right here on the backside, turn it into a headwind before it kind of shifts the other way when we come around. Figure with 3 teammates and a 5-man break that we should probably walk away with the win. Knew I'd be hearing about it from Bagley if we didn't. So we definitely would say had a lot on the line. I think there was $50, $60 prize purse or something, but and then had some Lactigo samples courtesy of Smooth Peddler, aka George, aka the Lactico Pimp. But, so we're coming into this last little S turn that'll take us into the final turn. I was hoping.
Stoplight and then pull off left to the stoplight. Do the stoplight and then swing left.
I probably should have said past the stoplight, because I said through the stoplight, and I'm sure he heard to the stoplight, because not a huge difference, but he pulls off before the corner right here. I'm like, all right, well, I pretty much dumped everything I had here. I think I had a 30-second power, like 750 watts or something, seated just as arrow as I could be coming around here. I wanted to leave just enough on the right-hand side here on this finishing stretch where Richard could come around me and be sheltered, force the other guys to have to come around the wind side. But I'm coming, and I held them off. So let's run that back here. Slow it down. If I see Shaun coming, I'm like, man, I hope I don't have to sprint. I'm pretty spent. I was able to get him, and Matthew got Richard at the line.
I'm glad it wasn't 20 more yards. I was done. You were closing hard.
That was Shaun. He was definitely coming on strong. So I think we caught Shaun off guard.
I was trying to lead just enough for you. Sorry.
Richard said I went too hard.
I didn't know how early these guys were going to go, so yeah, I needed like another, I don't know, 5 seconds to. Yeah, because it's in the corner on.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, in
I was
hindsight,
all in on the corner.
probably should have had you slot back on Shaun's wheel, you know?
Well, I knew I was going to plan on doing.
Yeah. And then I went, huh?
Like, I thought you were going to take over sooner than Steven, and so you're not going to slot behind Shaun.
I figured what was the point, because there was only that many of us, so.
No, but like when you went, you held it all the way to the finish line.
Good job, good luck.
I was probably doing 500 watts sitting on, and like I was accelerating trying to close that gap.
Yeah.
You know, when it became time to sprint, there was just nothing
There was
there.
nothing left, sorry.
Like I almost held off, I think I held off Matthew, and I almost held off Shaun.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Mark got it. Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, I was planning for Richard to come around me on the shelter on the inside, but I went too hard for him to, they kind of opened up, and then I just stayed in
Yes.
and glanced back and saw.
Steven made it easy for me with the lead out. So.
Good job, great.
Yeah, I just figured like, all right, I'll just take you guys to the corner.
That's for you, John Fritz. Get well soon, buddy.
Yeah. Get well, John.